So welcome everyone to this first masterclass here from Biel. My name is Daniel King and I'm joined by Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, who's very kindly agreed to join us on his free day. So thank you very much, Maxime.
Yeah, of course, it's a pleasure.
Well, let me introduce Maxime for those people watching online. I should say we have some people here in the Palais des Congrès in Biel. So Maxime is currently number 2 on the live rating list. How does that sound to you? Does that sound good?
Well, to be honest, live rating, it's fun and everything, but I think, Elo should measure strength in time, and so, to be number 2 for a short period of time doesn't interest me at all, even if this was about place number 1, actually.
Well, that's a very objective way of looking at it. But, well, let me give a few other results that Maxime has had this year. First in Dortmund, just a few weeks ago, very convincing. Third in Norway Chess in May. First in Gibraltar.
Yeah, shared first.
Shared first, okay, they still count. First in the London Chess Classic in December. Then in Reykjavik in the European teams, scored 6 out of 9. Very, very solid result on board 1. Anything more you'd like to declare?
Well, I don't want to jinx myself, so I refrain from any other comments.
Okay, I think that's quite good enough. So basically, I think it's completely understandable that Maxime has risen so high in the rating list. Behind Magnus Carlsen, and you're a very similar age to Magnus, aren't you? Both born in 1990, both 25 years old.
I'm 1 month older.
You know each other very well. Do you feel any rivalry between you?
Well, there's of course some rivalry, but first of all, I was quite far from Magnus' level and still am. So, I am not sure if he has to consider myself as his strongest rival or whatever. That's far from the case, even as of today. And anyway, we have actually we are very friendly towards each other, and it's more or less a case for everyone at the top. So I'm actually quite happy with that.
Good. Well, let me explain the format of what we're going to do in this masterclass. So in a moment, Maxime is going to go through one of his recent games from the Dortmund tournament against Fabiano Caruana. But first of all, we've got a little puzzle for you to solve. Maxime, tell us where this game is from.
This game was played in Vikense 2011. So that was the first time I was playing what is now called the Masters Group, I think. It was
the top tournament.
Yeah, it was the A group at that time, and I played this in the game before the last against Jan Nepomniachtchi. Well, obviously I had the upper end for some time, but there's only 1 clean win from this position, and given the amount of pieces I have on black kings, that's actually quite surprising.
Okay, yeah, it's true. Okay, so we're going to throw this over to our audience watching online. White play and win, it's as simple as that. So how did Maxime put the ball in the back of the net very cleanly from this position?
Yeah, I tend to manage this better in chess than in football, or basketball for that matter.
What sports do you play?
Mostly tennis, but sometimes a little bit of everything if I can.
Yeah.
But not very convincingly.
Okay. So white play and win. It's gone very quiet online. Perhaps there's someone in the audience here who might like to find the very clean win for white. White play and win. I can see the audience, just a fascinated audience here in Biel. We've got a hand up in the audience. They're going to beat our online audience. What's the win, sir? Then maybe there's a block on f6, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a suggestion of rook f, for those watching online, we just had a suggestion of rook f8 check, and if rook f8, rook g3, and then the king goes to h8, and then queen e5, but that gets blocked by queen f6. We've got the suggestion of rook g3 check online, yes, but after king h8, what happens next? That's the question. It's rook h3 or queen g6. No. Sorry, not good enough for us.
Not even close.
Oh, harsh.
I'm
words.
that harsh.
He's very harsh. Not even close. It's very interesting. Well, as you said before, it's actually not so. It's easy to miss this one.
It's easy to not to spot. Yeah.
My December online says rook f7.
Yeah, I think it gets answered by rook h6, threatening queen d1, and covering more or less everything for now.
It's optically, it's extraordinary that black can defend this position actually with so many the heavy white pieces around the king.
That's true.
We have Taylor Carr's theorem says rook g3 check, then rook g7 threatening mate. I think he's cracked it. So do you want to go through that?
Yeah, so the point is, after rook g3, king h8, rook g7, the rook on f6 is important also to cover the square on h4 after some rook d1 check, king h2. And this means that after rook d1, king h2, I mean, you can play queen b8, but that's the last check. I mean, last free check you get, and afterwards you have to start giving up pieces. And if you take on g7, then after rook f7, no matter where the king goes, mate comes either with queen h7 or rook h7. So that's actually quite clean.
Very nice. Excellent. Good. And well done to Taylor Carr's theorem. Has a long handle, but well done to you. Okay, well, Maxime, remind us again which game you're going to go through today.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the recent game I had in Dortmund against Fabiano Caruana. It was the first game of the tournament, so it's pretty much defined the shape of things to go.
So let's Brett, no, einfügen, neue Partie.
All right, let's go.
Okay, so this is round one.
Yeah, this is round one. I mean, I thought about bowing you guys with another Berlin that I had against Ruslan Ponomaryov, but okay, neither of seemed more fun even to Danny's eyes. So
I'm always happy with the Najdorf. When did you start playing the Najdorf?
I think back in 2004, 2005. I was always playing the Sicilian, but some kind of dragons or accelerated dragons, and then picked up the real openings.
And what attracted you to the Najdorf variation?
Well, right now it's, I mean, we have a fulfilling relationship for both sides. So
you have
fulfilling relationships.
A fulfilling relationship with the Najdorf.
Yeah, for both sides. I mean.
Okay, what exactly do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, Najdorf wins me wins, and I want the Najdorf, searching ideas in wins in good fighting chess. That's all.
It's good, yeah. So you get a full-blooded struggle.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, excellent.
So anyway, we've had this debate with Fabiano a couple of times on this line. So,
but sorry, just to go back a little bit, against f3, you play the obviously there are many moves here, you like to play the principled Najdorf move e5. But
I've played d6 in the past, but well, I mean, I just thought that there's so many options for both sides, that we might as well skip the theoretical debate, at least for the first few moves, because I mean, here there's e6, there's e5, there's even been some g6 or some b5, but I mean, e6 also the problem is, white gets his pawns rolling very early, and you have to be, you need your art not to waste too high, basically.
Okay, so by putting a pawn in the middle, okay, so you stake a claim in the center, and yeah, it's less easy for white to carry out the traditional attack.
Yeah, I mean, same like with h5, but I just don't see anything wrong with this main line. And here Fabiano played a couple of times, I think, a3 against me. Of course, there's g5 before, which is a really main line.
This is the ultimate main line, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. And there's some moves like, I mean, king b1 or g1 as well.
How do you go about studying an opening? So, okay, take us back. You said you started to learn Najdorf in 2004. Is it different to?
Yeah, back then it was much different. I mean, you were just looking at some lines. You were trying to survive the opening, to know the usual plans. I mean, when do you get some d5 break? When you play on the queen side or whatever? Which pieces you exchange, blah blah.
Did you use those old-fashioned things called books?
Yeah, sometimes. But I mean, of course, it's still useful today. But nowadays, of course, most outputs based on concrete action that engines give us.
And well, one of the questions I get asked a lot is, what's the best engine to use? Which engine do you use?
I'm still faithful mostly to Houdini, even though it's kind of getting beaten by both Stockfish and Komodo, but at least I get what he means in general, so that's good. But,
you're used to its style.
Yeah, basically. But of course, sometimes you need to mix it up a bit.
Okay, right, sorry. Let's crack on.
Anyway, as I was saying, okay, g5 is the absolute main line. You can play king b1, you can play a3, I think. But here Fabi went for h4, if I'm how do you promote a line?
Variante aufwerten.
This one?
Yeah.
Can I get the game, because I'm never going to remember that.
Okay.
Yeah, h1. Yeah, here I thought for a while, and because basically, I mean, the point to delay g5 is that now after b4 knight d5 I cannot take with a knight, because my bishop doesn't get to f5, which means I'm forced to take with a bishop. But then this is not so present. I mean, the pawn starts falling on the king side, and it's not quite obvious how I'm going to keep on. What I'm going to do after a4 and a3 have been completed.
Okay, so I mean, a lot of that has to do with the control of the light squares, I guess, with
Yeah.
the bishop. Yeah. Okay.
That's why I just went knight b6, which is a typical move, and also, I mean, prevents knight d5, so it makes a lot of sense. But then after queen f2, here I heard the bit, because, I mean, in general, in these lines after g5, you want to be able to go knight h5 and to stop the pawns from rolling. Still, I think I should have gone knight d7 here. My point was that, I mean, the obvious move would be knight c4, but it gets answered by bishop g5, and sometimes that's not so pleasant. I mean, you just threaten to take g5 and knight d5 next. So here knight d7 probably was the right decision. I went rook b8, and after rook b8, g5, I realized that after knight h5, because, I mean, I'm not sure that's what he intended, but that's what I was afraid of. Knight a5 threatens knight c6, so queen c7 is probably forced. Now it takes, rook takes, knight d5, bishop takes, pawn takes, and here's the thing is knight c6 is next, or bishop d3 and bishop e4 first, and I didn't fancy all of that much.
Okay.
Like, I mean, after knight f4, I might even answer bishop d3 anyway, because knight d5 gets answered by bishop h7. And, you know, I mean, you cannot be sure during the course of a game, but anyway, I was not so convinced about this position, and thus I answered knight d7, which definitely means that, you know, I probably should have gone for it a move earlier, because the rook on c8 will be much more useful than the rook on b8. So Fabi went f4, and here, yeah, again, I mean, if I play b4, knight d5, this is not so good. So I just took, it took back, and I couldn't find anything better than rook c8.
Okay, right. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, you're sort of...
Okay, I mean, still I have ideas. I mean, rook takes c3 begs to be played, as you probably know.
Sure. We dream of those. Does anyone allow those anymore? I don't know.
Yes.
Rarely.
I mean, you say you allow it, generally it means it's not good. So anyway, another point is if it takes, I just take back, and then queen c7, and I get some b4, some knight e5, whatever he answers. And it's not clear I'm not worse, but at least I got contemplating. So I think he went knight d5. Yeah. Knight d5 makes sense. And I took bishop g4, yeah. And here I didn't really expect bishop e2. I expected him, you know, to keep my bishop on g4, because sometimes it's a bit awkward. So I think I expected something like rook e1, and then...
Yeah, it's. I mean, to my eyes, the bishop on e7 looks a bit awkward.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I had two options. Either I go f6 or maybe knight e5. I'm not sure about knight e5 because it's also not clear what it's doing there, but f6, of course, is possible.
Okay, so taking advantage of the queen on f2.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah. I understand it looks scary.
Yeah, it looks scary because of the e6 square to me.
Yeah.
But
it's
okay.
Yeah, I mean, now if bishop d3, I think you get knight e5.
And instead of bishop d3, if I simply switch across to queen d2, is that possible?
Yeah, knight e5 anyway. I mean, now you get some threats.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm looking to play knight d4, but I'm not entirely...
Well, I mean, also the point is after pawn takes, you cannot take back with a pawn.
Because of rook f4?
So if you have to take with a bishop, I don't know. I mean, it's just an idol, you know. I mean, it's fairly complicated struggle. So.
Looks it. Okay, let's crack on with the game.
Yeah. I mean, Fabi went bishop e2. I took, and then I went knight b6. No, I went rook e8. Yeah. Went rook e8, and I asked him a question about where he wanted to put his queen. Here, I think I don't like what he did. He went queen f3. So here I was considering a lot of moves. Basically, I think if his queen went to g2, for instance, I was going for rook c4, and this was not so easy to answer, because sometimes I also get some things. I mean, it's very difficult to remember what I was considering at the time, but
okay, but black has typical counterplay anyway.
Yeah, but it's not so pleasant, because also, I mean, what has to be noted is that if white gets either knight d4, knight c6, or h5, g6, I'm on the verge of resigning. So I need to be faster than that. I mean, I think queen f2 was the move that annoyed me most, even though after queen b6, you cannot go bishop e3 because of this
That's true.
little move. But then I think I was just not sure what to do after a move like maybe even queen g3. It's very hard to say, but just play for h5 and g6.
Okay.
I mean, I remember simply that, I was not too happy with my position. Computer was not too happy with my position. And then after queen f3, things get a lot better for me.
Okay.
And the reason why is now I get queen c7. I mean, then you want to play knight d4, but after knight b6, knight c6 gets answered convincingly by knight takes d5.
Okay.
So it also means I'm threatened queen c4, which is kind of annoying.
With a double attack on a2 and d5.
Well, I mean, especially d5. You can. I mean, if you say you play king b1 after queen c4, knight c6, knight d5, it's the same story.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, he answered with the best possible answer, so rook e1. The point is now queen c4 gets answered by this, and knight f5, knight f4, knight e7 wins an exchange, and probably the game. So here I thought, I mean, there's also knight c4, which is possible now, but I didn't want to go to knight c6 again, so I just went bishop f8. It took, I took back, and there went knight f5. And actually it's here that knight c4 is possible, and probably the best way to answer, just to play knight e5 at some point, or sometimes queen a5 and rook e1, whatever. So knight c4 was the simplest. I went for queen c4, I missed something when I played it. So here's the thing. I mean, I just saw what happened correctly, but just completely misunderstood that I was going to be in grave danger. So Fabi went for b3, of course, I mean, to protect the pawn from the pawn on a2. I went queen b4, and then after c3, if I go queen a3, king b1, I don't achieve much, and my queen is completely out of play. So my point was rook c8. Now king b2 gets answered with knight a4. Well, king c2 still doesn't threaten anything, and I might have something there. I don't know what, but Fabi went for the most unpleasant move, which was rook d3. Yeah, rook d3. And my point was after knight takes d5, I win a pawn. But after bishop d2, suddenly, again, I can go queen a3, king b1, but I don't achieve much. And I mean, this knight is now, of course, under attack after this bishop d2. So I have to put it back. But now I have to waste a few tempi for my queen, and h5, g6 is coming quite fast. So Fabi went for king b1. I'm not actually convinced by this, but at the same time, I threaten d5 and queen e4 if given the opportunity. So it makes some sense.
I like your bishop on f8.
Well, I mean, it's a solid defender.
It's doing a good job of protecting important pawns.
Yeah. Here, of course, I cannot go queen c6 because then you just take knight g4, rook c5, knight c2. Now if rook c6, there's knight b4, so I have to go rook d5. But then after bishop d4, knight e3 is a threat, and an unpleasant one with that.
Okay, this is...
So I have to go queen c7, and I'm never able to exchange queens, basically. And now I think he went h5. No, not yet. He went queen f4. I mean, here it has to be noted, we were in some quite serious.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, these variations involve so much calculation, accurate calculation that, I mean, you must be very short.
We spent a lot of time, and by now we were done in our last few minutes.
What was the time control?
I mean, it was 100 plus 30 seconds per move. So we were done to either increment or a couple of minutes extra. So yeah, also it's a first round, so you have to get back into rhythm, and you spend maybe a few extra minutes for that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I think this is a problem for all players. How do you cope with a first round in a tournament? I mean, do you try to play training games before the tournament, or do you just take it as it is? How do you deal with a first round?
Well, it depends, but I mean, if I play a few tournaments in session, it doesn't really matter. But of course, if I have a long pause, I try to, get back into the game. I mean, at least play some blitz, some whatever, but just to feel,
Because there are some players that nearly always struggle. I mean, Tal famously suffered in the first round. Well, Magnus often struggles in the first round or so.
Yeah, I actually don't know why, but it's a case. I mean, it's definitely not so easy to come into a new tournament and just be ready immediately.
To be match fit, it's not easy. Yeah. Because I mean, you can calculate all you like, but it's not the same as having a feel of making moves by feeling. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, let's continue.
Yeah, so here Fabio went for Queen F4. I mean, I think Bishop F4 was more annoying to me, but I mean, again, I cannot say what I had in mind. I mean, maybe it was Rook E8 and Rook E6. Also, that looks a bit, strange. I mean, maybe it just takes. Also, I mean, I forgot to mention, I mean, every time there's this line, you have to calculate. And here is a case where it might actually work. The point is, after knight d7, if bishop d4, knight e5, queen f6, and rook g3 would be curtained, but you're still in time to take on h6, I think.
And escape via f8.
Yeah, so here I think the computer was showing this queen f5 move, which we both missed. And after knight e5, bishop d4, bishop h6, bishop e5, pawn takes, rook d7. You win back the queen, but actually it's definitely not the end of the world, and I think here there's very good chances to hold this. Say, even if you get this pawn on a6, I get b4, and I probably will get a fortress with this pawn on h6. Say my rook comes to e6, and I don't think, I mean, best case scenario, you win the bishop for these 2 pawns, and it's just a very easy draw.
Yeah, but I mean, this is obviously, it's really scary to have this knight on f5 hanging.
No,
over
yeah,
your
knight
king.
h6 always looked like it could be a forced win.
Yeah.
So, but it's never the case apparently. So I mean, I had to spend, of course, a few extra minutes on each move for that reason, but it seems that I never made the mistake of allowing a deadly knight h6.
So you played queen f4.
Yeah. So again, bishop.
Sorry, Fabiano played queen f4. Yeah.
And here I entered with rook e8. Well, again, knight h6 now doesn't work. I mean, my rook comes to g6. And here, I mean, this is what I was calculating. And Fabi also saw this. I go queen c5, and after b4, I have to be careful because queen g1, king c2, and king b3 would mean the end of my checks. But after queen f5, king c1, queen f1, I get this square on f5. And I'm holding. I mean, king cannot really go to b2 or d2 because of knight c4, and it's just a perpetual check.
Very, very precise.
So, but he was still playing for win, understandably. I mean, we were done on our last few seconds, and this position seems still promising.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is he played h5, I played rook e6, and now suddenly, I mean, this rook covers everything more or less. And I think, nothing ever works anymore for him. So, like, I mean, I don't know, he played here. Here he just played some random moves, and after queen c6, I mean, there's probably still ways to keep drawing chances, but with a few seconds on the clock, he went for this, eating at f7. After queen b7, suddenly couldn't cope with it because this queen is ready to come back into play. He played knight a3, and after rook e4, queen g3, rook e5. His last chance was g6, even though, I mean, after queen e4, it's clear that I'm much better. But he went for queen f4, and after rook g5, well, he loses a pawn. He tried h6. No, I didn't see.
Yeah, sorry, we should just mention that if queen takes rook, queen takes f3.
Yeah, that was implied. Here I was a bit lucky because, I mean, it's move 40. So, you know, after g6, I didn't see g6 at all, actually. So the point is, I mean, it looks like a very normal move to make. And then after knight g4, you actually have to be careful with black because f5 still wins, but after rook f5, this happens.
Oh my god, rook g3.
I mean, this is, wow. And this is completely unexpected. So, you know, you can easily miss this.
Okay.
But f5 would still win. Anyway, I didn't see any of this.
You just took it?
Yeah, I just took it.
But also taking it solves your background problem to some degree.
I mean, of course, but I mean, for endgames, it's not very pleasant, but at the same time, for 3 pawns up, I don't think you need to bother about your pawn structure so much.
True.
So, here, yeah, game kept on, but after the queen was on a6, Fabio trusted me. He trusted that I could win this.
Yeah. But isn't it fantastic? Well, again, I mentioned it. Isn't it fantastic how basically this bishop on f8?
Well, it covers everything. I mean, it's not useless.
Key squares.
It's not useless. I mean,
no. And one day it will emerge like a butterfly.
But that happens often in tonight.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. Yeah, it's actually, of course, a very, very common theme. That's very interesting. Well, we've got a few questions. Well, the question I wanted to ask was, what's happened over the last year or so that you've had such consistent results? Do you put this down to anything?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, I've had basically I've had much more solid, you know, opening knowledge. I've used some time and some resources, you know, to make my openings much less vulnerable, so I get the positions I want. And once you start, you know, winning back some games and, you know, not losing as well, it's pleasant, but also it gives you confidence. And I mean, I've seen in the last few months that, you know, every time I had to, even to take a critical decision, I mean, I would spend much less time to actually recheck line and just trust what I was doing, and so far it's worked out great.
Okay, so one thing is you've been working hard at your openings, but okay.
Not only me. I mean, I've received fives.
So you've had people. You've been working with other people as well. But you mentioned calculation. I mean, I see this as one of your great strengths: your speed and accuracy of calculation. Is this something you've worked on in particular?
Well, I mean, I cannot say I've worked on it that much because, well, I mean, I was naturally good at this. So, you know, I mean, of course, I've improved over the course of years. You know, I've seen motives, I've seen what the computer can do. So, you know, I mean, you actually see some details that you would completely foresee otherwise.
Okay, well, that's interesting. You talk about working with computers. Do you think your style, because you've grown up in the digital age, do you think your style is in some ways quite different to the chess that was played, say, 20, 30 years ago?
Well, I mean, my style is quite different from how I was playing like even 5 years ago.
Oh, really?
I mean, yeah, the computers had a huge leap in strengths, and, you know, of course, we're not, you know, trying to play like them, but in some way we have to imitate them because, you know, they know what they're doing, and, you know, sometimes you have to do what they're doing, even though it wouldn't have crossed your mind like 20 years ago to enter some positions that looked absolutely awful, but because of some concrete facts, or even sometimes you just pretend you can hold positions that you wouldn't even consider to play otherwise, but it just happens to be the case.
I heard that you spent, perhaps not recently, but in the past, spent a long time studying endgame studies to improve your calculation and, and to spot motifs. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, it was mostly for my own personal pleasure at first, but it probably proved useful because even in endgames, I mean, I spot sometimes motifs that wouldn't cross my mind otherwise.
That's interesting. Okay, we've got a couple of questions here. We have a question from Trond Arne Ausdal. Does Maxime think that he can beat Carlsen in a world championship match in the future?
Well, let's get to that first, but of course, I mean, I have to consider myself as a possible challenger for the world crown.
And just continuing that, apart from yourself, who do you see as the other potential rivals for Magnus in the future? Who do I think is?
Well, I mean, I don't know about Vladi because, I mean, he's now 40 years old, so that might be a bit too much, but you never know. I mean, he's still fit, he can still play very good chess, so of course. I mean, I'm just doubting that winning a candidate, winning a candidate and then a world championship match might be too much for him. I don't know, but it's it's definitely on the table. There's Fabian, of course.
We should also say that Kramnik is still number 3 on.
No, he's a very decent player, of course.
And you've worked with him in the past.
Yeah, a couple of times.
Oh. Very cagey. Okay, and Fabiano, you mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, but basically, I mean, everyone in the top 10 are very good players. Some actually might not have the best chances because, winning a candidate is also not so easy and requires, to win, to be very stable, and so on. But still, they're all very strong players.
Yeah, I mean, when is the next? I mean, is the next candidates in 2 years? I'm kind of losing track.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying top 10, but it depends. But there's really a lot of players. Level of chess has been. I mean, also one fact is that, for instance, I think what separates Magnus from me at the moment is what separates myself from the number 10 or maybe 12 in the world. So.
Okay,
in terms of rating. No, in terms of rating.
In terms of rating, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we see because, Magnus wins pretty much all the tournaments he plays in anyway right now, so.
But this is your next big aim, is it?
Of course. It's a challenge.
Reach the candidates and let's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, reaching the candidates is definitely my next main goal, apart from winning tournaments.
Yeah, okay. But it's something to look forward to in the future, yeah.
And next candidates, to answer your question, is normally in 2018.
Yeah, I guess 2 years, yeah. I have another question from Porti Dos. What do you feel more comfortable in playing concrete chess like in the Grunfeld and Najdorf, or positional chess like in the Spanish?
Well, I mean, I just, try to be fluent in both languages, but of course, I cannot say, I mean, it's of course easier in a way to play positional chess, but I also, I'm thinking about how my opponents feel, and of course, then it's very interesting to have a complicated fight and, with potential for mistakes from both sides.
Okay, we've got another question here from John Hartman, who says, "Hi MVL, congrats on your great results recently. How do you manage to memorize all your opening analysis? Any tips for us who struggle with memory?"
Well, I refresh my memory every time before a game, but that still doesn't prevent me from forgetting a lot of things, even during the game, even from lines I mean, I've been looking at even 20 minutes before the game starts, so I definitely have room for improvement there.
But do you like, perhaps just away from a tournament, do you maybe spend sort of one day a week where you just kind of go through all your analysis and?
Well, that's just not fun. I mean, sometimes you actually have to do it. I mean, for new lines or whatever, but otherwise.
You don't do it by rote.
I mean, it's just too painful to do.
Yeah, okay. We have a question from Rizki Muhammad, who says, "Hi, Biel, from your chess career, who is the hardest opponent you've ever met?"
Well, I've been struggling in the past against a few players, of course. Magnus is not so easy to play, and I don't have so good results against him. There's Hikaru as well.
Hikaru.
Yeah.
What's your score against Hikaru?
Minus something and 0 wins. I mean, I don't remember if it's -3 or 4 in classical. I mean, and I actually missed the opportunity to beat him a couple of times recently, especially in London. And
well, why do you think that is, that you struggle against Hikaru? Is it something to do with style, or what is it?
Well, I don't really know. I mean, also, I mean, I say I'm struggling, but I also haven't lost against him for some time now, so you never know.
Okay. And this isn't asked here, but I'm asked this all the time by people. How do you become a strong chess player? So it's a very general question. So not particularly studying how you study now, but when you were, say, I don't know, a 2200 player, if you can think back that far, how did you make that progression from that level to, let's say, 2500 or something like this? What did you study? How did you study?
Well, I mean, I didn't study that much openings back then. I mean, like the essentials. I've had a great deal of work done on endgames. I mean, by my main coach at the time was Nicolas Piragonov from Bulgaria. I mean, he was living in France, still is actually, and yeah, I mean, so that's where I learned a lot of basic endgames, and it helped me tremendously, and still does.
Well, I think we see that with your endgame technique. It is it's clinical. It's
not always. I mean,
it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's okay.
One last question here from Dorj. Do you think Wei Yi will make it to the top 10 in the next couple of years?
Top 10, I have no doubt. I mean, it's a question of time, and then to get higher, we'll see.
Okay. Well, I think we're going to wrap things up there. Thanks everyone watching online for your questions, and I hope you've enjoyed this. This masterclass will be recorded. It is being recorded and will be stored on the Power Play Chess YouTube channel, so you can go back and look at it there. But anyway, in the meantime, Maxime, thank you very much for joining us on the rest day here in Biel. Are you going to play tennis now?
Probably not. I might play football, but that's not even clear at the moment. I'll see. I'll see how the French guys are doing and if they're available for something.
Okay, great. Well, listen, thanks again, and thanks everyone for watching online. We'll close it there. Thank you.